Look, there's a serious lack of real morally grey BL characters out there. I'm talking about the ones who aren't perfect, who mess up, act selfish, struggle with their own demons just like real people do. But BL companies stay clear of those characters because they are terrified of fans wanting their BLs to be flawless boyfriends or husbands. Well, that's not me. I've got my perfect green flag husband at home, so I'm not here for that fantasy. What I want is something real and messy. Give me those morally ambiguous men who are emotionally cruel, broken by trauma, spoiled brats, and who carry the parts of themselves we all hide just to keep being good. There was a famous psychiatrist called Carl Jung who founded analytical psychology and came up with the theory of the shadow self, saying we are drawn to characters who show the darker bits of ourselves so we can safely explore those forbidden emotions. So, in this video, I'm diving into the diabolical men I find irresistibly attractive for all the right reasons. If you're here to play moral police or nitpick, then this is not the place for you. This space is for my people who love their bad men, and that's final. No, Young-soo. I keep asking myself, why the hell am I so damn drawn to him? He is a cruel, broken mess, troubled, homophobic, exploitative, narcissistic, and yet I can't look away. Following Goyoung, it hits me. He's me and I'm him. Why do we fall for these emotionally unavailable men? What kind of sick, magnetic pull do they have on us? Is it that brutal push and pull? The way they make you feel like the most precious thing in the world 1 second, then throw you away like you're nothing the next? Is it that body, that face, that goddamn unit of a back that just screams to be held tight and scratched raw? The way he slams Koyang down on the table like he's desperate to devour him whole. The way he hauls him onto the bed as if he's gonna smash him senseless. But really, it's those rare moments, the tiny cracks in his icy frozen soul, that catch Koyang by surprise. Those flickers of vulnerability in a man who's otherwise so damn cold. That's what makes it impossible for Goyoung to just walk away. Dr. Khan, was he a criminal or was he really an angel of death in disguise? Who was he? Was he the doctor who crossed every ethical line as a palliative care specialist, or the beloved village doctor who gave comfort and dignity to the elderly when life had taken everything from them? He is such a contradiction, deeply empathetic, warm, and gentle, yet there is something darker underneath that kindness. The side that carries the syringe not to kill but to end suffering. The side that believes mercy is worth the price of morality. He tells himself it's not murder, it's compassion. And maybe in his own twisted way he's right. But if you strip away the sentiment, he's also a narcissist. A man who plays God, deciding who lives and who dies. He convinces himself it's mercy, but it's control. Yet when you see those fragile bodies, the trembling hands, the pain carved into their faces, it's impossible not to understand why he does what he does. It's not easy watching people rot away without dignity. What makes him fascinating though is how unshakable he is. Even when they catch him, when the man he loves is the one bringing him to justice, Khan doesn't falter. He never once doubts himself, never apologizes. And that's what I find hot. Not the killing, not the madness, but the backbone. The refusal to fold. The kind of conviction that burns even when the whole world turns against you. You people really don't get Ming at all, and honestly, I'm done justifying myself for loving him. Me and Joe, we are in the same boat now and we are sailing far away from this chaos. The Titanic is sinking, and guess what? Joe and I are already on the rescue boat, leaving every single Ming hater behind. Yes, Ming was that painfully gorgeous, arrogant brat, rich, spoiled, and full of himself. But if you have ever been around rich people, you'd know most of them are way worse than Ming. So what if he pushed Joe to the edge of death? So what? Joe loved him enough to come back. He chose to come back so Ming could make things right. So he could show Joe just how much he missed him, how much he loved him after all those years apart. Everyone keeps saying Ming only loved Joe because he looked like his brother-in-law. But no, that might have been the start, sure, but it changed fast. Ming fell for Joe, for him, not for anyone else. And yes, it started messy, cruel even, but that's what makes it real. Ming's love was twisted and possessive and painful, but it was his truth. Joe wasn't some replacement. He was the one that Ming couldn't let go of. Not even when it destroyed them both. And maybe I've just made his defense sound even worse by saying all this. But do I care? Do I actually care? No, not in the slightest. Because characters like Ming aren't meant to be liked by everyone. They are meant to be felt, understood, wrestled with. And if you can't do that, then you were never meant to sit with us in the first place. Pete, oh Pete, my bad boy Pete. How can I hate you when I'm sitting here thinking about you every other day and all the messed up ways you treated Cow? Pete's been rough on Cow since high school. Bullying, pushing, acting like he owns him. But beneath all that, he was drowning in jealousy and possessiveness because he was madly, painfully in love with Cow. At first, Pete couldn't even admit it to himself. He hated Cow for standing up to him, for being that weirdly kind guy who never gave up on him, even when Pete was being a total jerk. And he hated seeing Cow with anyone other than him. But once Pete faced the truth, that all he ever really wanted in life was Cow, everything flipped. He stopped being the bratty bully and became Cow's fiercest protector. Didn't care what anyone thought about them as a couple. Wanted to shout from the rooftops that Cow was his. Loved him with a fierceness that was almost scary because it was so raw. Funny thing is, it wasn't Pete who was scared to admit their relationship. It was Cow, the one holding them back and creating all those pointless misunderstandings. But Pete, once he knew, he owned it with body and soul. Ray is the perfect example of how broken souls end up breaking others without meaning to. Behind that careless, untouchable mask, he's a man screaming silently for someone to save him. And when Sand came along, Ray grabbed onto him like a lifeline. Sure, in the messy process of trying to heal and find himself, Ray hurt Sand more than anyone else ever could. But in the end, it was Sand who pulled Ray back from the edge, who made him human again. I love Ray because he shows me my own fragile side, the part of me that can shatter just like his. And if I ever get pushed beyond my limit, abandoned and scarred, I know I will act just like him too. And he knows how to use his beauty like a weapon. Ray is fully aware of the power he holds over Sand, and he never misses a chance to remind him who is in charge. That dominance, that raw confidence, that's exactly what makes him irresistible to me. Ray knows he's the best thing that's ever come into Sand's life, and no man or woman could ever replace him. And honestly, that's exactly what I want in a character. Complicated, messy, flawed, but so damn captivating. We were honestly robbed of Yono and Doho's full story, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. The director tried to brush it off, saying it should have been obvious they had a friends with benefits thing going on. But that's just such a shallow reading for what was brewing between those two. There was so much more happening under the surface, and anyone actually paying attention could see that Doho was Yono's gay awakening in high school. And it was clear Doho loved him in ways that were dangerous to admit in a place where being different was almost criminal. Yono could never accept those feelings out loud, so he wore the bully mask. But that cruelty was really just a sick and twisted cry for attention. A desperate, ugly way to stay glued to the one person he couldn't have. Yono helped Doho rebuild in soul, even after all the SAT failures. He wanted so badly to explore his feelings for Doho, but life didn't cut him a break. Once Juyong reappeared, Doho naturally drifted back and Yono ended up alone again. The second choice, the runner-up. Do I think Yono deserved that? Yes. He bullied and hurt Toho, there's no glossing over that. But do I still feel bad for him? Absolutely. Characters like Yono force you to sit with your own fractures, your regrets and your longing, and sometimes I just want more of his story. More of his pain, because that's what makes these shows real for me. Korn is one of the most twisted and messed up characters I've ever seen. And honestly, people just don't get him. Everyone sees him as some spineless cheater, the guy who couldn't stand up to his abusive father, the one who got dragged into running a dirty gambling business, the heartbreaker who abandoned Tonkla when he needed him the most, and the guy willing to kiss ass to some investor just to keep his life afloat, even playing the perfect fiancé to the investor's daughter, while ignoring everything else. But nobody dares to see what's really going on beneath all that chaos. Korn was broken to the core. Nobody ever loved him. Not his mother who abandoned him, not his father or stepmother who abused him. All he ever wanted was just a shred of his father's approval, but his dad tossed him aside like garbage once he served his purpose, favoring the other son who didn't care about any of it. What broke me was how much Korn genuinely loved Tonkla. He saved him from that nightmare, gave him safety, tried so damn hard to keep him close. But Korn's own demons were too monstrous, and he lost Tonkla anyway. Even knowing Tonkla was not loyal, even knowing he was betrayed, Korn still chose to die with him rather than live without him. That's why I love Korn. He loved with every broken piece of himself, flaws and all, even when Tonkla couldn't do the same for him. And that's my analysis of probably the reasons why I love these bad boys to the core and think about them a lot. Who is your favorite bad boy character from this list? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you soon. Bye.